summit, Jolene. I
Thank
was
you,
really
JJ.
looking forward for this conversation on the future of education with AI. So when most people think about AI in education, pictures Canamigo, ChatGPT prompting, explain me as if I was an X years old boy, whatever. But actually, not for 10 years, you have been spreading the idea that what really matters is using artificial intelligence to learn how every individual learns. So I would like you to walk through a journey of a 13 years old student using your platform, and how does it look like in 1 hour time?
Sure. So what actually Squirrel AI Learning has been built in the last 12 years is an AI virtual teacher. So let's assume a 13 years boy sitting in a self-study center, and he will be using a smart learning tablet. That is actually the level 5 autonomous self-directed learning tablet. Inside of the tablet is the AI virtual teacher that will be able to recommend whatever that's personalized, suitable, appropriate for a 13-year boy to learn. On the side, we do have other students doing the same thing, and will be a human supervisor working together with the AI virtual teacher. And the supervisors will be doing emotional communication and observing the data analyst platform to see if any students needs help. And after learning, the human supervisor will need to use the data analyst platform to analyze what students report learning behavior and talk to the student. So basically, the Squirrel AI virtual teacher is teaching the student. The human supervisor will be motivating, helping, doing data analysis for the student.
And how the humans interact, I mean, how they work with machines, how you build these hybrid teams made of an AI tutor with the supervision of humans.
It's pretty,
yeah.
It's very smoothly. So the supervisor will be using the data analyst platform. I can see all the different students' progress, each single learning behavior, each single mistake. And if there's an alarm, the student has been distracted for 5 or 10 minutes, then the human supervisor will need to be in charge and then talk to the students, maybe have a break. So it's basically a helper, supervisor, observer for the student. And then after learning, the supervisor will need to look at the reports of different learning behavior data of that student, the other student, and do analysis and talk to the student, and maybe set up another goal, do some revisions. So basically just using the data that the AI virtual teacher has generated, has already given the supervisor to look at it, and then the supervisor talk to the users, and sometimes maybe the parents.
There is some evidence on what's the impact of a personal tutor teaching a student and how he or she, her academic performance improves with this personalization. So a well-prompted model like ChatGPT actually helps students to improve their performance, but you are working at a different scale. You have 43 million students at the moment with how many billions of?
20 billion.
20 billion of registered behaviors and results. I mean, how do you use this data to actually getting to know every student? Because it's not so much about creating a good content for all the students, but a super specific content for every individual, sure, based on what you know about how they learn.
Sure. So what we have been built is called LAM, it's Large Adaptive Model. This is not LLM. And we don't agree that younger kids should use open LLM to learn by themselves, because it's public data, it's public information, and no one can assure that the information, the data, and everything is accurate and can understand the student. Because in public, the data is public. You don't know which one is whose data. How can you use the data to calculate, to analyze, and then to be able to recommend the most suitable contents for each different user? In public data, you cannot do that. So that's why when we started this company 12 years ago, we started to build our own closed ecosystem. And we can call it vertical large model, but it's not only language model. So in our closed ecosystem, every single pattern, every single data of the learning behavior pattern will be recorded in our system. And it's multimodality of the data. It can be right or wrong, the speed, and when the students use a pen to write some answers or solution pathways on the screen of the tablet, the AI will do analysis as well. And also the eye gazing, the facial recognition of the focus time, blah, blah, so many. So every single data will be taken into account to do analysis. So if the student has been staying with us for 1 year, it's probably got thousands of data. And the AI virtual teacher understands the student more and more based on the time they spend. So it's like a real human teacher has been teaching a child for 1 year, 3 years. That makes huge difference, right? So that's why we want to build an AI platform that's acting like a best human teacher to be able to understand the student, and then to be able to teach what's the best, what's the most appropriate learning contents or maybe abilities for the students.
And I don't know if you can share this number with us, but how many features you pay attention to for every student?
Features means functionalities, right?
Yes, I mean key points of analysis, of registering data about how they learn.
I would say probably at least over 20, and we updating those kind of features every month. So mistakes reasoning can be one, and like I mentioned, the facial and eye gazing time, and when the student fast forwarding a teaching video or backward a video, that means different kind of thing. And answers, it can be wrong answers. There are many, many mistakes behind the wrong answers. And also, we do have an AI assistant at the bottom that is like 5 to 10% of the functionalities. If the students wants to ask any questions about the learning, why I got this question wrong, how come I can't answer this, blah, blah, there will be another data. So yeah, there's a lot of them. Yeah, 20, 30, I think is probably what we have now.
You have been working with artificial intelligence and trying to figure out how to use it to improve education since more than a decade ago. What has changed since 2023, since generative AI, in building your model and improving your capabilities to actually empowering students?
Sure. We started in 2014, and we launched our first version was in 2016. So at that time, we didn't have that many functionalities, probably 5, 8 functions, basically right or wrong answers, and the feedback students typed in and to tell the system what is right or wrong, how did they feel, and the speed, and speed and time, and the minutes spent per problem or the minutes spent per learning. So it's basically just 5 very little functions. And when the LLM or the AI grows really, really fast, it's been changed. So we add more multimodalities. So in the beginning, our system was called AI Adaptive Learning System. It's basically just adaptive algorithm. And later from 2017-18, we started to build the large adaptive model, which means we add on this multimodality of large models. So with large models, there will be more and more functionalities. But we need to make sure it's closed ecosystem. We calculate within our system, so all the data that in our system are very effective.
At the end, everyone involved in education knows that the only relevant KPI of education is not the number of students, it's the impact on every individual. So when you think about the way your students use AI for learning, what are the skills they have to build? And how do you help to build these skills for improving their lives, and using AI in the smartest way possible?
Sure. So I think I would like to talk about it in 2 ways. One is what we have in our system to train the student is called MCM, which is methodology, capacity, and model thinking. So in the system, we do have different subjects like math, English, chemistry, those subjects. But we do have this MCM system, which means while the students are learning those subjects, they still get trained about these different abilities and methods. Sometimes when a student cannot understand one teaching video or cannot solve some problems, it's not because of the mastery level of the knowledge. It's because of the levels or maybe certain levels of the abilities or methodologies the student didn't have. So in that case, the AI system will be able to recognize what's the weakness and then to be able to train the student particularly on that abilities or skills. So that's one thing we do in our system. And another thing we think, like young generation, they started with AI, and we cannot let them to run away from AI. But I wouldn't agree that all the young kids use ChatGPT or whatever nowadays. But most important ability is if they grow in an AI world, whatever they have learned should be AI personalized and most suitable for themselves. So they understand a way that in the future, everything should be personalized, including education, including medical care, including entertainment, and everything should be personalized. They understand this mindset, and then in the future, no matter which job or career they're gonna have, they will follow this pathway, they will follow this mindset. So I think fundamentally, this is very important.
Yeah. Let us talk about the growth of your company over the years and how you have scaled it up. I'm sure that there are many folks here who are now trying to create something new, to found a net tech startup. How do you make sure that you survive the pilot project with an academic institution and you really make it happen and grow to reach, to impact in 43 million students?
Sure, I think two parts probably most important make us pretty successful so far. One is actually the efficacy study. To be honest, when we started in 2014 and 16, there was no one knew what AI was. When we talked to the parents, hey, do you want to use a School AI virtual tutor? No way. They will definitely refuse us. It's so hard. So what we did is in 2017, we started to do the first efficacy study, but we also have another name, a little bit offensive, which is AI versus human teachers competition. But that was true. The outcome was the School AI teacher outperformed human teachers. And we continued doing this efficacy study, so far over 100. So that's one thing we show the market that there's a measurable outcomes. Maybe human teachers won't be happy about it, but that's the truth. Even the best teachers, like one teacher was facing 3 students, AI still outperformed. But that was the truth. Then this market start to accept. And another thing is the business model. So we didn't just sell our product online. We could, and we are doing that. But more important is we run this offline self-study centers. We invite human, not teachers, but supervisors to be involved with this AI virtual tutor. They work together. So in that way, the students still need to go to the physical centers to interact with human supervisors, with their classmates, with their friends together. AI teacher is powerful, but we are human beings. We still need to have the kids grow in a humanized area. And of course, we are not saying we are going to replace teachers, but we do need to replace many roles of teachers, which means the teachers should be reskilled and to be able to work with AI. So that 2 aspects, I think, made us grow really fast, and also the markets really, different markets really accept and would love to, develop very fast.
You have waited so many years before you consider to try to conquer different markets than China, right? So where was that?
Yeah, well, actually, we planned to go to North America in 2019-20, but COVID came, so we had to stop. So actually now, only last month, in April, we started to develop our franchise business model in North American market. And we have already been developing the contents, local contents for 2 years in North America. So yeah, just about this year, we are starting. And North American market and then Southeast Asia and Central Asia as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my last question. A child born today will start the school maybe in 2029, 2030, and will be graduating from university in 2050. So what do you feel more confident about what a teacher will be still doing in 2050 and what AI will have taken over completely?
I think AI will replace completely about the teaching part, the teaching of knowledge, the teaching of some basic abilities. So human teachers should be really reskilled. It's not upskilled. I think it's 100% reskilled. Teachers should be more like mentor, should be supervisor, should be psychologist, and should be coaching the student. I think this is so important. And also, of course, problem-based and project-based learning that will need to be led by our educators. So the teacher should be divided into different categories. Now we call teachers as teachers, but teachers need to have different roles. They need to have different functions to be able to help the kids and college students as well. And maybe professors need to be changed as well. You know, I know this is a crucial question, but in this AI world, we have to be willing to accept the new changes, the new challenges. Otherwise, we're gonna be left behind.
Are you considering to create a platform to train the teachers and the professors?
We haven't started yet, but we have started working with some universities in China to train their college students whose major is in teaching. So we create a program together, but it's not AI-based program yet. The K-12 students is still big market, and we will be working with teachers in the future and see if we can create a platform for teachers.
Okay. Please give a big hand to Julie. Thank you very much for coming, for making it happen.